Hey everyone, Matt here. It is Wednesday. That is the main event time where we go over our main topics for the week. So if you're watching or listening, this is the meat and potatoes of the episode. If we happen to have any news to discuss as well, that's where we'll talk about it here. For the full episode, check us out on Saturdays. Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, it's Monday evening. I'm in this shirt. I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from DT Cards. RJ, how are you today?
My mood would be markedly improved if the Red Sox were winning baseball games and I did not just apply for and was approved for the Amex Business Green. What we do for MR points.
I mean, you do what you can for MR points. As for the Red Sox, I got nothing. I'm a huge Tanner Houck fan. That's about it. Tanner Houck is very good at baseball. Very good slide. And weirdly available in my fantasy league. I need to fix that. Anyway, we're also joined by Tariq from Reek's Rewards. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Life is lifing, but the Rangers are winning baseball games. Except for today. Don't ask me about today. That game didn't exist. The Rangers weren't the Rangers. They were like something else.
Brady Singer is him. Anyway, we may or may not be joined by Lani from Call Me Lani. He had life commitments happen at the last minute, so we will see what happens. If he joins us, he joins us. If not, no worries. We're going to move over to our news roundup and topics, and Chase just decided to do all the news this week. Last week, it was the Chase, the United card refreshes, which Lani, we're going to talk about that in just a second. We also had Chase update their lift benefit, and it ended up being better than I thought it would be, but it's still not great. So Chase and Lyft had a previous relationship that saw the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the JP Morgan Reserve, earn 10 times points, and you got 2 years of Lyft Pink All Access and a third year at 50% off. The Sapphire Preferred would earn 5 times points on Lyft rides. The Freedom cards would earn 5 times points on Lyft rides, and the Ink cards all earned 5 times points on Lyft rides. The Sapphire Preferred and the Ink cards still earn 5 times points on Lyft rides. The Freedom cards have been knocked down to 2 times points on Lyft rides. Is what it is. The Sapphire Reserve and the JP Morgan Reserve now have monthly $10 credits of $10 a pop, and you'll now only earn 5 points per dollar on Lyft rides. So something is better than nothing. This isn't really the best, but losing Lyft Pink All Access kind of hurts, but I understand it from a business standpoint. I would have preferred to have seen Lyft Pink and then you get your $10, but I have a feeling, and I didn't say this in my video today about it, but I have a feeling that you could probably just prepay your monthly Lyft Pink with the credit if the card is attached, because there's nothing that says the credit can't be paid. The Lyft Pink membership can't be paid with that credit. So maybe I may experiment in time with that, but that is the thing that like I alluded to that was like, I'm not going to say this on this video, but I'll say it here. Lani, any initial reactions to the Chase Lyft extension?
I'm going to say they waited to the literal last minute. Like we were all sitting on edge to the point where I'm like, all right, it's just done. Like, what's my April 1st going to look like without 10X? And now it's only 5, so not a big deal. Because the partner programs are still in there. Delta's about to be out in like a week, so let's take a Delta out of it. But Alaska Airlines is in there, Bilt's still in there, Hilton is there. Bilt is 2X, and I think Alaska and Hilton are 3. Alaska might be 2. I know Hilton is 3 Hilton points per dollar.
Alaska's 1.
Oh, it's 1. So it's 1, 2, and 3, depending on which partner you go with then.
Yep.
So don't forget about your stacking point side quest with Lyft. The 5X, I mean, is it a hit from the 10X? Yes. Awesome. Kind of sucks, but not that bad. And I'm going to say it like this, not that bad, because now you're getting $10 a month. So if you're actually using it, you're actually using it. And if you're not using it, you're not really losing $10 that you never spent in there anyway. The other aspect of it is, and before we get to the United stuff, is United's also giving me $10 a month. So these actually ended up working out in my favor, where I can use one card to go to the airport and one card on the way home and get $10. And if I split that over the month, leave at the end of March, come home at the beginning of April, boom, super boom at that point. But the other changes, I mean, like Lift Pink, I've already used up my first 2 years in my 50% off third year. And I've seen the value over those 3 years, where I actually just paid the $199 to keep it this year. They hit me in January, and now these changes come. But at the same time, so I paid in full, I paid the annual, so I won't be able to test out the $10 to the monthly subscription cost for you there, Matt, not
Yep.
until 2026. But I still find value in Lyft. Like, I understand a lot of people are going to be like, man, $199, however much, whatever X equals. It's like, you're always going to ask yourself if that's worth it. The 10X was 100% worth it. I'll still take 5 plus $10. I'll still happily take. So I'm not using Lyft every single day. I'm not using
Right.
it. You know, I might take one trip a month, personal or work, that is. So eating up that $10 is going to be easy, and I'm still going to get 5X. And like I said, I can switch to my other card and save another $10. But with Lyft Pink, if you've been to any major airport, just any of them, and ordered an Uber or Lyft, and you stood in line or had to walk to a garage, like in the parking garage, or down the street, around the corner twice, 2 rights and a left type of situation, just so you can get your ride, versus curbside pickup in a black car. You ordered a Toyota and a GMC Suburban shows up. Lyft Pink is worth it. I'm just going to call it what it is. And I don't care if you're in LAX, SFO, EWR, MCO, MIA. It's always H&L. They all happen. I just order a regular car, and almost 100% of the time, one, you'll always get upgraded, period. You'll always get upgraded. But that upgrade for me has usually ended up being either a black car sedan or a black car SUV because of Lyft Pink. So no, I don't see any negative. And like I said, it's not really affected me that much because I've already burned most of that stuff anyway. But other than 10 to 5, Built did it. Who cares? Like, at least I keep 5. I didn't lose 90% of my points with Lyft. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Sorry, Built.
We'll come back on the other stuff in just a second. RJ, Tariq, did you guys? RJ, I know you don't really worry about Chase and Lyft, but the continued Amexification of Chase is interesting to see. Did you have anything here, Tariq?
My thought is, like, the banks want you to use your cards. If you would just use your damn cards, they wouldn't keep putting credits on to make you use your cards. That is my overall thought. I yield the floor.
That's fair.
So it's a weird thing because I don't necessarily hate or love it. I mean, it did suck because I was using the Freedom Flex for my occasional Lyft rides, just because it was a World Elite MasterCard and it has like the benefits, like the 10% on like a scheduled airport ride. But realistically, I looked at my Lyft account. I think I've taken like a total of like 6 Lyft rides, and I still have the Built card. Now I have the Built card, and with that, I think I earned 5x Built points. So yeah, I wouldn't lose like the 5x UR, 2x Built with the World Elite benefits. But if I wanted the 5x UR and the 2x Built, I can still use my Sapphire Preferred. But realistically, like the last time I went and did a trip, I actually just paid for parking. It ended up being about the same price as a Lyft ride. So I'm okay with just paying for parking at the airport. So it may just end up being a nothing burger for me at this point. So
yeah. And the MasterCard benefits are still just MasterCard specific. So whether you use the Freedom Flex or you use the Built, you're fine. And alternatively, if you are starting to get into Hilton, you could switch over to the built, get 5x built plus 3x Hilton, and your gold from there.
Yeah, I could do that. So we'll see what my strategy is, because that's I think that's a topic. I'll talk about that later.
Speaking of that built, because built advertises it as up to 5x. Are they doing 3 for travel plus the 2 if lift, or is it 5 plus 2?
So I was curious because I was I was looking it up, and when I pulled it up, and I'm gonna try to pull it up again so I can be accurate. It just said 5.5x if you have the built card and you use it.
You're right. They don't actually clarify, is it 3 plus 2 or is it 5 plus 2?
It's 3 plus 2, but it's like built is doing special math because it's travel. They're to travel an extra bonus point for Lyft and their relationship with Lyft. They're like giving you an extra point somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
but
now.
It
So
caps out at 5. So it's not like
Yeah.
I get the 5 and then I get the side quest 2 from partnering with them. Right.
No. So you set up the other side quest, I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it is.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what the math is, but yeah, literally from their help thing, it says earn 5x points of built when you link your built rewards and Lyft accounts and use your built MasterCard to pay for a Lyft rideshare. You must select built rewards as your active loyalty rewards partner. So,
okay, so the 2 is coming.
Yeah. So if I do Hilton, it probably won't be. It'll be maybe 2 or 3x or whatever it is, but it won't be like the 5x and the 3x. I'd have to just
So 2 of those is coming from the partner program.
That is
Built's
mildly disappointing.
Do they still do the $5 a month with Lyft? I have never used my built card in Lyft, so I'm just asking.
I imagine
I think that's a
MasterCard.
Yeah,
that's a
MasterCard.
Got it.
It's it's like $5 credit after like 3 Lyft rides.
Yeah.
Unless you have the City Advantage Executive MasterCard, then it's the $10 credit.
Yeah, but you still got to do the 3 rides. So
yeah.
All right. We've cleared the deck on the Chase Lyft extension. Stop signing up for Amex cards en masse and allowing coupons to be a thing, and maybe other issuers won't do coupons.
It's not just Amex. Stop it, Matt.
It's Amex.
It's not, though.
Citi copied who?
It's not just Amex.
See Wells Fargo doing credits.
Anyway,
RJ's about to go off with your heads. That's number 7.
You know what? 1 credit makes me smaller. 1 credit makes me big. How about that?
I already did eat me, drink me.
Signature Jefferson
7.5. 7.5.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you. All right, Lani, the floor is yours. The United card refreshes, much like the off with their heads on this one.
So I actually don't mind these United refreshes, y'all. What's funny enough is that there are people of the community that are literally waiting for my response to this, which I take as a compliment.
I genuinely said that last week too. I was like, that's a good point. That's what Lani says.
But I'll say it like this. So we don't need to get over every single credit. RJ gets points. But if
you got to give her credit, she's an Amex person.
If the United cards did not make sense for you before this change, they still don't make sense for you. And I think that's where we need to start. So I am actually excited that for the last week, it wasn't first off, and I've mentioned this with Joe Barreto, there's only like 3 creators out there that could probably make a keep or cancel United card video, because not a lot of people had the card in the first place, Yep. Now, one, having access to people like us, someone like myself who makes YouTube content on and being a card holder of it, it's great. And it gives you the education of it. But I've been doing this for over a year now. And if you still haven't hit the apply button, don't go hit the apply button. it's still not the card for you. It's actually now even a worse card for you because you weren't using it for what it was going to be. You're not going to use the new credits, and the annual fee just got higher, minus the first year, which is waived. But, well, depending on which card that is, the first year is waived, the blue one. Now, is there still value in it? In the answer I will say is yes, because United has not a cardholder problem, they have a consumer problem. If you've ever flown on a United flight, you would know those flights are now almost always full. They're one of the most flown airlines here in the US. Period. They got more legs, more flights, more hubs than almost any other of the major airlines here. The other aspect of it is when they say pre-boarding global services in 1K, half of the plane gets on. So that's another problem that they need. But the other thing is when you think of and I'm saying all of that because most people that are loyal, like myself, to United, that have status and use their cards, we also have access to the United clubs, where, granted, in most airports, especially United hub airports, there's more than one United club. So when they shut one down and say 1 day passes can't come in, then okay, 1 day passes can't come in. I'll just literally take 50 steps in the opposite direction and go to one of the other United clubs. Not a problem there. But the thing is, it goes back to that one statement of if everyone has status and no one does, when everyone has access to United clubs and no one does, they made it so easy. It's literally the cheapest day pass you can buy. At least a couple of years ago, they changed it. So you actually have to have a United boarding pass to get in as well, because people are just paying $59 and walking in, which was completely legit. So I say all this because when you have a club card where you can get more than one person in, or your entire family. Now, I'm not going to knock the family. I have a family. That's the reason why we went with the United Black card, where you don't want to split up your family, but you also don't want to pay $59 if you're a family of 4, family of 5. Maybe you got 3 kids. So at least all the families can get in. But if you're not family, I can't just bring in 2 of my buddies anymore. Why? Because it's a population problem. It's just too full. More and more people are getting in there. They're making better and better United clubs. I still think some of the United clubs are some of the best lounges, period, in the US. Definitely better than Priority Pass. I don't care that you have 3 Priority Pass memberships. You haven't used one yet. Let's just call it what it is. Thanks, Tariq. And so, yes, changes suck. JSX, you're never going to use it. Lyft, that's the only change that I'll probably actually take advantage of. Everything else, maybe Instacart. And that's only if that $10, like Matt was saying with Lyft, if the $10 monthly, if I go monthly, will that code like it used to on the CSR? If that does it on the United card, then yeah, I'm back to Instacart Plus or whatever they call it. But once again, if you weren't using Instacart, you're probably still not going to use Instacart. If you weren't flying on JSX, you're probably still not flying on JSX. You're not going to pay $1,000 to save $100. You're just not. And if you weren't using Lyft before, you're still not using Lyft. So you add all that up and you add in additional annual fees on 3 of the cards. So if it wasn't for you before, it's still not for you now. And that's the best way that I can put it.
No, makes total sense.
Still for me, though. I'm not getting rid of mine.
Lani is the opposite of the mock turtle on this one. That's 8.5.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. What's that line? If a fish could go anywhere, it'd go without a porpoise.
It's 9.5. Let's jump into our topics.
It's a good read, y'all. Check out your local
backstory.
library or the app on your phone.
Project Gutenberg's got it. It's in the public domain if you need to. Still very creepy backstory. Tariq, your topic of the week. Let's get away from Lewis Carroll and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
I haven't got personal. Wow. Anyway, so for those who don't know or don't care about sports ball, It's baseball season. Opening weekend was this past weekend. So anybody, I don't think there's any team except maybe the Dodgers have a chance to go 162-0, but there we are. But because it's baseball season again, I was inspired by Key from Kiki Adventures and her pursuit to visit every MLB ballpark, which I thought was the coolest thing as a sports fan. And it had me in thinking, do any of y'all have, whether for sports, entertainment, or whatever your niche is, where you have like certain event venues where you can visit all of them, whether it be all 30 all 30 NFL stadiums, all MLB ballparks, all NHL arenas, all NBA arenas, et cetera, et cetera. For me, it would be cool if I could visit all 30 NBA arenas and all 30 NFL stadiums, just because I'm a big sports fan, and that would help me in my bucket list of all 50 states. So I'm gonna go with RJ just because I know she's also a big sports ball fan, and I wanted to see where she goes.
So, do I have an actual goal of it? Probably not, right? Like, I love football. I don't want to see a football game in person because I know how football is played. Football is played 30 seconds, 15 minutes later, another play of 30 seconds, 15 minutes later, another play of 30 seconds. And at home on my couch, when I'm listening to Tom Grossi in one ear and other people in another ear, I can enjoy that, right? But there, I'm dealing with 30,000 people and like I'm not paying like $4,000 for like the seats, at center. So I don't really want to see football. I love baseball. I love seeing baseball in person. I rather go to Fenway Park and watch the Red Sox play the other teams in baseball than to go to all of the stadiums, though that one is something that I would enjoy. I have gone to quite a lot of the NWSL stadiums for women's soccer. I really enjoy going there. So that would be probably the closest sport that I would pick the stadiums. I've gone to a lot of national team games, US women's national team games at different stadiums. So I've sort of collected that over the years. But as far as like pick a sport and go to all of them, probably not because there are just stadiums and fields I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to Vegas and have most of the stadium be the other team. Like to me, that's not fun. So I don't want to do that.
Hey,
I would go to an Aces game though. That's the one team in Vegas that I would want to see, I think is the
bucket list
Aces.
trip.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing the Aces when I'm in Vegas.
No
But
love for
yeah,
the Golden Knights?
Um, I am a bad hockey fan and I forget that a lot of hockey teams exist.
It's fair.
I do want to go see the Bruins. I would like to see all of the major Boston teams except for the Patriots because I don't want to go to Foxborough.
Fair. Side note, the fact that you said 30,000 for an NFL game made me laugh because I was thinking, we're going to go watch the Chargers? 30,000
Yeah.
people.
I don't know stadium sizes, guys.
Browns.
Lots of people.
Hell, even the Browns probably can fill their stadium, even though that's DA's Factory of Sadness. They were good for like 3 years.
Allegan.
But, yeah, definitely looking forward to the Aces and also the LA Sparks for me as well. That's for family connections, but that's a different story. Matt, would you want to go to all of the NHL arenas?
With the exception that Bell Center and Rogers Center are sold out until eternity, and I would have to pay through the nose on the secondary market, it would be cool. Those being Montreal and Toronto, for those unaware. Those two are almost impossible to get into. It would be cool to do it. If I were to do something like this, I'd want to do something quick, and I'd want to do something where like I could take a good chunk of work off and just get it over with. So
30 and 30.
I can't Gracie it. What I could do would be 1 year do all of the Grapefruit League, all of the spring training stadiums for Major League Baseball, because Grapefruit League is relatively, it's annoying to do, but you could do it over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. Then you go and do the Cactus League. And the good thing is that the Cactus League, all of the Cactus League stadiums are in like 3 cities. So it's Tempe, it's Sunrise, it's Surprise, basically. Like all of them just play in that like area. So that would be nice. Beyond that, doing all 30 baseball stadiums would be great. I don't want to go back to New Yankee Stadium. I'm just gonna say that I did Old Yankee Stadium and just be done with it. Um, I've done City, I've done Shea. I need to do PNC. I have an offer to go to Wrigley. Um, love to do that. I would also try to do some of the minor leagues as well.
Ooh.
Like where I can. So smaller stadiums, much easier to get tickets. Still going, like I would put the Attune to work on those.
Come to San Antonio, go to Wolf Stadium. I'll come and watch a Michigan game of the 2-2. Or maybe if they're doing their minor league alter ego, which is the Flying Chocolates at San Antonio.
It's way better than the nonsense that the Binghamton Mets came up with. And the Hartford Yeargoats. What the hell did they do this year? They did something. Oh, they're going to be the bouncing pickles.
Side note, I really, really wish I could have went to a Cubs game when I was in Chicago. Guaranteed Rate Field was just 9 innings of disappointment, especially the second game I went to.
Well, go to the north side next time. Feel fancier.
Well, it was just because the Cubs they literally the entire week I was in Chicago, they were on the road. So
That'll do
it was either White Sox or no baseball. And after what I've seen, I would have been okay with no baseball.
There you go.
Lani, I know you're not the biggest sports fan. I don't know if you would just go to like all of the like tech conferences or whatever your preferred niche is. What would that be? And would you be able to hit all of them if you haven't already?
No, there's only like 3 tech conferences that I actually enjoy. So that would be out. But you are correct. I'm not a huge sports person where I'd have any type of audacity to try to go to every stadium or anything like that. But I am interested in the backstory about those LA Sparks for you. So, yeah, curiouser and curiouser, RJ. We're at 10.5 now. It was a little forced, but I had to do it.
I'll just say this. We can talk about it after recording. That could be something potentially members only if we do post show, just because it's a lot of family thing.
Oh, we don't got to rip the Band-Aid off or nothing, but I was actually just pulling it for the Alice in Wonderland quote. But
I knew what you were doing.
I actually don't mind the LA Sparks. And that's another thing. So it was a twofer. So I'm not completely writing off Tariq. It is a twofer. I'm just not super into sports like that. What I would say, now I don't have a specific ask or specific like theme around this, but I, shockingly enough, admit that I'm a roller coaster junkie. Now, that doesn't mean I need to go to every Disneyland, or every Disney park, or every Universal park in the world. But put me on as many as the best roller coasters in the world, and I am a happy camper. And fun fact, my son finally got on his first roller coaster with me, and he absolutely loved it. And so it's over. It is over. Like
my biggest regret is that I was never able to do the OG Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point and the King Dakar. That will eat at me for as long as I live.
The fact that I finally got to see, not to sit next to him, but to see him absolutely how much he loved it. 11.5, RJ, it's coming. I can't go back to yesterday. I was a different person then. Straight up. That one was pretty smooth. You got to give me credit on that one.
This is
That might be
almost
that may be 1.5 points right
this
there.
is almost as bad as when you and Matt RJ went on the Star Trek tangent on live.
Bad. That was awesome. We had more fan
As in for
participation and
me.
listener participation than anything.
As in for me, because I'm unaware and don't know anything.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
where it
pretty
is.
sure we don't have a viewer that knows Alice in Wonderland to the extent that I probably know this novel.
So, Lonnie, what you're saying is you're going to be basically moving into Knoxbury Farm one summer.
Why would I move into Knoxbury Farm? That place sucks.
Cedar Point?
Well, it's that or the northern coast of Ohio.
No, I'm from the Midwest, not planning on moving back. It's cold there.
In the summer, like a gentleman.
Where I'm at right now, it's like great all year round. I don't need winter. I hate snow. It makes me livid, by the way. I actually get livid at the sight of snow.
Okay, again, I was just saying moving there for the summer. That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying anything about the rest of the year.
All I'm going to say is, to go to your question, I just love roller coasters, and there are some across the world that I have not been able to ride yet. Some are in the UAE. They have a really good like Ferrari Worlds over there in the UAE. What else is over there? The Warner Brothers World is over there in the UAE, fully indoors, by the way, because obviously desert. So yeah, I would literally just travel the world and go on a roller coaster tour, to be completely honest. Like, I'm the type of guy, if I had a layover, and I know you don't really get layovers in Orlando, but if I was like in Orlando for a day and I had a few hours free, you don't want to be next to me, because I'm the guy that's gonna be like, yo, let's burn $300 and go ride one roller coaster. I'm literally that guy.
That sounds really cool. I'm looking at Ferrari World and I'm like, now I'm trying to figure out how I'm about to go to the United Arab Emirates.
World's fastest roller coaster right there. It's so fast and it's in the desert that you actually have to wear protective eyewear on it.
Lani, stop drilling. You already struck oil. Ironically, we're already going to the UAE.
Look, all I can say is that we're all mad here. Anyway,
We've already used that one.
I don't got anything. I don't got another line for that one. Yeah. I'm going to have to move on. Can I also shout out RJ's Triceratops Lego head? Good for you.
I also have I also have the T-Rex.
Yeah.
You gotta have both.
I haven't built mine yet, so points for you.
Thank you. I love them.
I got the Triceratops one because it had a black minifigure with a Jurassic Park t-shirt. And I'm like, that's worth $60 in my opinion, because you're not going to find that anywhere else. You're not going to edit that out.
All right.
Sorry.
I think that we are. I think that we're good on my topic.
Yeah, I think.
Matt, were you disassociating again?
I just have to wonder if I've gone mad.
Probably.
Anyway, we'll go to RJ next.
So this question was born out of a question that is no longer a question for me, which is, what is the next card you plan to apply for? What role will it fill? And what is stopping you from hitting the apply button? This was the Amex green business green for me. It's no longer a problem because I applied for it, and I will get those sweet, sweet 25,000 MR points, and then that card will cease to exist in my mind for the next 10 months. I am really waiting for the IHG card that I have 395 days more before I can apply for it. Not that I'm counting. Matt, what card are you waiting for? Why haven't you applied for it? I know the card you want doesn't exist yet, but I'm giving you a pitch so you can talk about the card you want to exist.
Yeah, so it doesn't exist yet. We're all expecting it to exist at some point in the near future. but like the rabbit, it may just be running late. That would be the Wells Fargo Autograph Beyond, and I want to see what this card looks like. What role it will fill, well, I don't know yet, because Wells has an opportunity to take on, now with Chase's inevitable march toward more credits and higher annual fees, and who knows what the Sapphire Reserve is going to look like when its refresh that has been going on since 2024 is finished. Um, so if we don't know what that looks like Wells has an opportunity to see what Chase ends up doing, and has seen what Chase has done with the Sapphire Reserve over the last year, and see what American Express has done with their cards, and just choose to be the super simple, here's one easy use credit. It will knock off this amount of the annual fee. You're going to get all of these things, and they can kind of step in and just be a nice, like, simplified version of things if they so choose. Um, so we don't know what the role is going to be. I plan on applying for the Autograph Beyond if it's compelling, because we don't know what the structure of the card looks like. It could be a JetBlue Premier card, and I will be very disappointed if it is. So what's stopping me from hitting the apply button? Like you said, it doesn't exist. What stopped me from applying for the JetBlue Premier card? It's absolutely awful. So, yeah, that'll do it for me on those ones.
Sadly, I hope the Beyond does not. Well, I shouldn't say sadly. I hope the Wells Fargo Autograph Beyond is good. I fear that they're going to wait longer than they should because of partners, and it's going to be mildly disappointing. But I'm hoping I'm wrong.
I'm beginning to think that the 1 point to 1 point transfer is what's holding up their ability to get these negotiations down, because unlike everyone else, like, your minimum point exchange with Wells is literally 1 point, whereas Chase, it's 1,000. Capital One, I think, is either 100 or 1,000. American Express is either 250, 500, or 1,000, depending on which transfer partner you're using. Built is 1,000, 2,000 if you're built blue. Everybody else is like in rounds of thousands, and Wells does one, which is cool, but I think that's what's holding everything up. And if
agree.
they got to change that, they got to change that. But we'll see.
I want it to be good for you, Matt. I worry that it won't. Tariq, what is the next card you plan to apply for, and why haven't you pulled the trigger yet?
So I got two. One of them is the United Explorer. Obviously, the role is watch either of the two videos that Lani made on it. It's just that great. What has stopped me from, oh, it's 3 now? Oh, I'm lacking. What's stopping okay. Anyway, what stopped me from hitting the apply button? One, I hit the apply button back in, I think it was December, either late November, early December. Chase said no. I called reconsideration. Chase laughed at me. And I am probably, if I was going to go for that card, I would probably wait until July. Even though I'm under 524, I'm going to give it some more time just before I try to hit the apply button on another Chase card, just to see what happens. But I did get another inquiry with the built card, so I don't know. The other card would be the Hilton Surpass, and that role would just be getting my feet wet in the Hilton ecosystem with the best Hilton honors points earning card. What has stopped me from hitting the apply button is life right now, and it's also part of the reason why I haven't gone for the Explorer again. Life is lifing right now, and I don't know if I'm trying to add another card, add another sign-up bonus. Even with regular spend, I don't think I'm going to be spending a bunch of money right now. I'm just kind of tightening down the budget a little bit. So might just be hitting pause on any new cards I've been kind of happy with the built card, just earning the built points and just doing the regular thing. Yeah, it'll probably be, instead of 4 bananas, I'll maybe do 2 or 3, just so I can get the points and call it a day, but I will actually use the card. So we'll see.
You're gonna use a credit card that you applied for like a normal person? I don't know what to make of that.
I know the credit card community is going to throw me in the corner already.
I know. Lani, what is the next card that you're looking to apply for? What's it gonna fill in the wallet, and why haven't you applied?
Well, I've been pretty open about this, especially at the beginning of this episode. It's the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, via American Express, $650 annual fee. How will I use it? I'm going to use it as my pay to play hotel strategy, because I'll never stay enough nights at a hotel to get status. And status matters. I know status matters. I've seen how status can like completely drastically change your travel experience or customer service experience internationally and both domestically. Now, why this one? Because well, I already have Marriott Gold status, and my Gold status hasn't really done anything for me domestically, where I feel like Platinum status potentially could. But internationally, I know it could, because I've had Platinum with IHG. I have Diamond with Hilton now, because pay to play strategy with the Aspire. And I haven't used my Hilton internationally yet, but domestically, it's already paying out. So I'm expecting about the same from the Marriott. And it gets a free night certificate, which I will guarantee I get to use at least once a year, because I stay at one JW Marriott every single year at the same time. So I'm like, why pay for it? Why use points when I could literally now pay to play, and for annual fee minus credits, perks, and benefits, it's going to pan itself out without taking extra money out of my pocket. Now, why haven't I applied for it yet? First off, it's pop-up jail, but I don't want to spill the beans, because my members, it's behind the paywall on members of my members only on my channel. I literally dropped it today. So I won't be able to go into the details, because that's the perk and benefit that they subscribe to. So, but pop-up jail prevented me from doing it. I think I will pull a RJ and be like, you know what? F it. Pop-up jail doesn't really matter. But even understanding that now, coming to that epiphany moment, I can now take all the time in the world that I need before I hit that apply button. So now it's not, I need to apply for it while it has an inflated welcome offer, because pop-up jail don't care. I wouldn't get that offer anyway. So now it's just like, oh, how soon do I want to pay $650? So I'll hit the apply button when I need to take advantage of, begin to start taking advantage of its perks and benefits. I don't need it for another couple of months, so I might just chill and wait.
Nice. I'm glad that we all have some idea of a strategy, except for Matt, who's just waiting for credit cards who don't exist and lives in a world beyond the looking glass.
Welcome to the party, RJ.
It's a nice place. You don't have to worry about the welcome offers. You don't have to worry about how your spend is going to be judged. You don't have to worry about clawbacks. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. It's just really, really chill. You don't have a Chase telling you no in English, and then you call reconsideration. They say 9 in German, and then you consider applying again, and then they look at you and say "Niet" in Russian or Ukrainian. So that helps. Pop-up jail doesn't exist over here.
Hey, Matt, when you take care of the sense, the sounds take care of themselves. And RJ, I think we just hit 12.
I've lost count where we are.
I don't think I got any more quotes left from this novel. I honestly don't.
Well, we have 2 topics left, so you did pretty good.
And what book are we going to read for next week, ladies and gentlemen?
Welcome to Stack Your Points Book Club.
Is that what Wednesday is going to be now?
Can it just not have as creepy a backstory? That's all I ask. Anyway, if you know, you know. and it kind of turns a lot of things around. Anyway, we're gonna stick with credit cards for the topics, so we're gonna go to Lani for his topic this week.
Yeah. So my topic, going with, my two ride or die cards, my Chase Sapphire Reserve and my United cards. Credits. Can we just call it what it is? Credits. Everybody has these credits now. You can call it Amexification if you want. Yeah, the LeBron of credits. Just
The credit. Not to mention, oh, never mind.
But when it comes to these credits, and these new refreshes, I got to a point now where I'm feeling like, yo, how do you keep up with it all? And that's not easy to say, especially when, like, most of us in this community, we're so deep in the game. Or RJ, who has like every Amex card that comes with at least 1 or 2 credits. Like 3 of them are per day, 2 of them every other week, 1 of them's every other quarter. Like,
One of them just expired 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Damn, there's a new credit, RJ. A new credit just came in. It's like, how do you, one, do you have a system of how you keep track of your credits before now or into the future? Or are you someone that's just like kind of like ride the wave? Are you like, yo, if I use them, I use them. If I don't, I don't. I don't care if I get them or if I let them die. Maybe because you're already getting more value. However you define value. Value is not always financial. You know how I feel about that. You're already getting more value than what you're paying or whatever it costs for you to hold that card. How are you managing all of your credits? Because I think after last weekend, I think we finally got to a point where I'm safe to say, yo, there's too many credits.
Oh, it was only last week. Okay. Okay.
He said, I can tolerate Amex, but Chase, that's where I draw the line.
20 credits is enough. 21 though? That's too many.
Cut it off. Although
so Matt, you go first.
Yeah, I will start with the United Explorers hotel credit is just absolute garbage. I'm just going to put that out there. Here's kind of where I am now. My philosophy with annual fee cards: 1, would you pay for what the card provides you, regardless of credits? Before you get to the credits, everything that the card gives you, would you pay the sticker price first? Everything after that is solid, right? So with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I will pay $550 for all of the things that card will provide me. The fact that my first $300 are credited back to me every anniversary year is money. The fact that I get the free Dash Pass service for as long as that partnership will continue, that is just extra icing on the cake. The $25 credits, I'm not going to break my back worrying about whether or not I hit all 25 in a certain month. Why? Because I just use the 2 $10 credits for the grocery or the non-food thing. That's just a tip. I'm still paying what I'm paying for that delivery, right? The same thing with the food. Like the food, I tip more than the $5 credit. Like I'll just use my $5 credit. Great. But am I going to worry if I don't use all $25? No, man. I got too many other stressors in my life than to worry about, did I use all my credits? And this is just me speaking for one premium card. If I also had the American Express Gold card and the American Express Business Gold card and the American Express Platinum card and all of the Delta cards and the United cards, I let all of that stress me out, I would be interned in some mental asylum somewhere. Don't worry about it.
I thought you were coming up our girl RJ for a minute there. I honestly
I really
that was a lot of Amex cards.
Pointed.
I thought you were going to go with Hilton next.
Until you got to the United cards, I thought I was about to be in your crosshairs.
Well, no one in the right mind would apply for the executive card. Well, no, I'm sorry. There are people who have the executive card. It's fine, but it became a coupon too, and it became a coupon before Chase became a coupon. So, but am I paying the annual fee first and foremost? Am I paying for X, getting X? And as long as X is still satisfactory to me, I'm not going to worry about the delta between X and Y with the credits. That's it. Like, the fact that my first 300 is credited back to me is great. I'm not worried about everything after that. Like, it's a 250 card. It's going to become a 395 card after the first 300. Because if all you do is the 300, don't convince yourself that, oh man, I paid $400 and I just have this really crappy, heavy premium metal card. No, like, you get access. Go travel. Go enjoy the Sapphire Lounge. Go enjoy life. Like, don't sit there and worry about, like, oh well, I got to worry about my DoorDash credits, and now I got this Lyft credit, so like I got to take a Lyft to nowhere. No, just live your life. So I will ride the wave.
Didn't know if you were pausing or not, but
It
Tariq,
should, sudden short burst of end.
Yo.
you're up next. How are you managing your credits?
So I have Max Rewards Gold. Do I look at the credits the credits page or the benefits page often? No. Am I looking at it right now for this topic? Yes. I'll just start with the cards that I have. Sapphire Preferred has like 2 main credits. One of them is like the $50 hotel credit. I'm not using it. I don't care. I don't. If I did pay for a hotel with the portal, it's probably a hotel that I don't have if I'm not part of their loyalty program, or they don't have a loyalty program and I could justify paying for it. But for the most part, if I'm booking directly through the hotel just because I want to earn the membership points for whatever one it is, until I can do that with Chase through the Ultimate Rewards portal, I'm not going to touch that $50 credit. It's nothing to me. The DoorDash non-restaurant credit, I do use that. I look forward to it just because it's $10 and
Snack run.
It is definitely a snack run.
That's the best snack run credit out there, y'all.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm waiting till tomorrow for that because I'm going to use it probably at Dash Mart, and I actually just will go and pick up because I am close to a Dash Mart. I am actually going to go buy the half gallon of Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream and maybe pay like $2 for it because I just love that ice cream. It is so good. So that one is worth it to me. I will use that. I look forward to that at the beginning of the month. It's great. I don't really use it to justify the annual fee on the Sapphire Preferred. I just know I paid $95 for access to Ultimate Reward Transfer Partners. So it doesn't really have like any effect. It's just like a nice little perk of, oh, sweet, I get this. My IHG Premier Business Card, the main one is the biannual semi-annual United Travel Bank credits. It's $25 every 6 months, and it's use or lose. I can't bank it. It's $25. Not gonna go too far with United for $25 on the travel credit. So I just let it burn. Call me Usher. So it's whatever.
But you can go from San Antonio to Galveston.
I don't want to go to Galveston. Dirty water. Sorry, it's a Charles Barkley reference. Anyway, it's bad enough. I'll deal with the big old women and churros over here anyway. Again, Charles Barkley reference. For those who know, you know. The American Express Blue Cash Preferred, I do use that credit. Well, only the one. I don't know if it's only that credit anymore. I know that Everyday had 2, and I was only using the Disney bundle credit. But I've already talked about if it's keep or cancel, it's 50-50 if I decide to go for the Hilton Surpass, which even if I get the Hilton Surpass, those $50 quarterly credits I may use, I may not. Not a big deal. So I'm not going to try to go out of my way for a $7 credit if it's something I cancel the card for. So yeah. And then all the other ones where if I'm like spending and earning, like I think it's the IHG Premier has like the spend, was it $10,000 something like that, get $100 credit. Sure, if I was putting all my spend on it, but I'm not going to go out of my way because I'm trying to earn points in other avenues and other ecosystems. So if I use it, great. If I don't, oh well. So I have a lot of credits that just die, and I look at the credits. I don't use them to necessarily justify the annual fee. I looked at the gold, but for the most part, I don't have the gold just is because I don't really use Amex transfer partners. I would probably consider it in the future if I wanted to do more Hilton and earn 4x dining and groceries. So credits would be great. There's a lot of Dunkins by me, so I would go to Dunkin'. I may not go every month, but I can just save it in the Dunkin' gift card, and then maybe I'll go decide to go get like a dozen donuts or something. Who knows? Or coffee, whatever y'all do over there, Dunkin'. So yeah, if they're there, great. If I'm able to use them, great. If not, oh well. I'm not gonna lose sleep if I lose a $5 credit from like a $5 semi-annual credit. Big whoop.
Appreciate it. Now, I know you made 2 Charles Barkley references, but we're doing Alice in Wonderland tonight. Don't know if you got the memo.
Don't care. If I cared, I would have asked permission. Damn it.
That's a little backwards. I just realized it's our unbirthday. We are at 13.
Happy birthday, everybody.
RJ, as the one person on this panel that has more credits than a deck of cards.
13 and a half.
I have had 14 Amex cards. I just counted. It's a lot of credits.
You do the math on those credits.
I don't care. I do all of my math for if I get a card, if I don't get a card, with no credits involved. I do a second set of math with those credits involved, right? Like easily credits. Like the Dunkin' credit on the gold card was incredibly easy for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to get value out of that. I use Dunkin' every month. I use Dunkin' multiple times every month. So yeah, easy for me, right? I don't use Uber every month because I live in a place where like that's just not something that I can get regularly. So I do the first round of math on if a card is even worth it for me before I even take any credits into consideration. I also most of the time just forget the credits are there. Like I really forgot that the $50 Hilton credit was on my Surpass until I saw like it show up as like a $50 credit. I'm like, "Oh, cool. I forgot about this." So, I am the last person to remember a credit unless it is something that I see often. The Dunkin' credit was easy because I had to move $10 to put it on auto, so it was taking $3 on the first of the month out of my account. So like it was in my head. Um so yeah, I don't care. Like I don't. If I don't use a credit, I don't use a credit. I don't stress about it. I think I have too many credits that it just I've gone around the curve, and I just if I worried about all of the credits on all of those cards, I would have to quit my job and just manage my farm of credits. So yeah. No, I'm imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality, and my imagination when it comes to credits is just to ignore them if they don't serve me.
Damn you, 14 and a half.
That was pretty good. Can we add up your credits? I want to know if you pay more in annual fees or do you have value in
I have
credits?
done that before. I have done that before, and the only cards that I did not make a positive impact for were the gold card and one other, the gold card and the green card. The green just because there's not a credit I use because it's the clear credit right now. And the business green will be that way because there's literally no credits on the card. So it'll be the $95. But every other card I make out. I'm actually, for all of my cards, even the ones I'm getting rid of, but for all of my cards, I'm at over $900 of value, compared to what my annual fee is. So I do make out, and that's without the points coming into any sort of. Um, but I also have the Delta Reserves, which the companion credit on that can be a $1,400 credit depending on where we're flying or
Yeah.
more, right? So those two cards help, but every other card, even the Venture X, the CSP, all of them, I still make out. So I do math, guys. I just don't do cent per point math.
He has that channel muted for a reason.
I have gone into that channel twice to make sure that it was muted and to make sure that nobody was doing anything they were not supposed to. And I have not been back since.
Well,
It's
cool.
a space for RJ where everything is funny if you can laugh at it.
Yeah, I think just to answer for myself now, for most cards, depending on the credit, like Amex Gold and Platinum, Uber or Uber Eats. Obviously, I already mentioned I don't use Uber, but I will use the Uber Eats because it's like $25 meal. It's like an enhanced snack run, really. Just like I'm sitting here working from home. I don't want to eat what's in my refrigerator. Don't want to cook. I know. I have somebody bring me something basically for $0 because I've already paid for it. It's just the credit. But all the other credits is kind of, I ride the wave. Going back to what Tariq was saying about the snack run, the DoorDash credit. Do I use it every single month? No. But at 10:36 on a weekday night, catching up on your, shows that you missed, absolutely, I'll get a pint of ice cream dropped off at the front door. So I was just curious. And also, anyone that's watching, put how you use your credits down in the comments. Look at some engagement on this video because I honestly want to know. You might actually help me out. I might be forgetting one and you might actually help me out. Anyway, that's it for me. Passing the mic.
And in those comments, just remember that imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality.
I just said that.
Wait, wasn't that
Damn
one
it.
just said? Yeah, dude.
He was looking it up while you said it, RJ.
It's so great when it's not me.
It's really annoying that I want to disassociate, but it's now my topic, so that's freaking useful. It's impassable. Anyway, so let's take a break from credit cards. What 2 or 3 historical figures, could even be one, who knows? What up to 3 historical figures would you want to have a meal with, and why? And let's assume that you're going to pick up the bill on the dining card of your choice. Now, if you pick a royal, absolutely give the bill to the royal. Tariq, who would you want to have a meal with from history, and why?
So one of them would be the late Malcolm X, just to kind of just get his perspective, kind of just know his the reasons behind his movement from his point of view, just kind of for reasons. And obviously when he sees my name, he'll want to strike a conversation on that as well. Another one would be Madam C.J. Walker. I think she was the first Black millionaire. And I just want to see the point of view and perspective from how she did it. And she might be taking the tab on that one just because, she got money. So yeah, those are my 2. I just like seeing the historical figures that, look like me.
There you go. All right. Lani.
Oh, man, I don't know how I'm going to. Well, actually, I do. I know how I'm going to follow Tariq on this one. Now, I'm going to break your rules a little bit. So I'm going to have a dinner table, but I'm going to have living and passed away. So my living, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and this has anything to do with politics. We're talking about two historically Black figures that broke the glass ceiling and were first of their kind in both of their fields.
Yes.
But I would be remiss if Michelle wasn't sitting at that table. So I got to add Michelle.
You can't invite Barack without Michelle, man. Barack's not going to say yes.
They come in twos, man. They come in twos.
You can. He's just going to have to explain a lot of stuff later.
Like, either way, I want all three of them. If I could have a dinner with all three of them, I'd be a happy person. And fun fact, when I was in Barcelona, I actually ended up at a restaurant that Barack Obama ate at. And this guy was in the maitre d' of the restaurant was like, we call this now the Obama table because every time he's here, he sits at this table at our restaurant. And I'm like, that's awesome. Which chair? Anyway, so that's
they probably leave that chair out specifically for them. They roll it out. It's like, here you go, Mr. President.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, not fanboying or nothing, but
no.
If I were to pick those that have passed dinner table, I would actually do the best dynamic duo of the music industry that's ever walked grace this planet, in my opinion, and that would be with Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. I need to know how the Thriller album came to be. Gotta know. I want to have that. I want to pick their brains.
Who's to say that they'll even reveal that secret, though?
That is
probably a lot of yelling.
That is literally probably one of the greatest musical recorded arts that have ever graced us as humans on this planet. And I don't care what y'all have to say. I'm not taking that statement back. It's not up for debate.
Argue with
Thriller. Yeah. Thriller is a masterpiece. I don't care if you like Michael Jackson or not. Thriller is a masterpiece.
It's up there. Like, it's almost like if you play word association, if someone says Michael Jackson, you say Thriller.
Yes. No. Right.
And we're talking about the album, y'all, for y'all that thinking I'm just talking about the one song. No, I'm talking about the album.
That album was a masterpiece.
I'm about to go listen to Thriller. I'll be right back.
Hey, you know what? Play it. We want to play it after the recording, man.
We'll see you both in about 52 minutes. If I'm even in the ballpark on the runtime with that, I'm going to be amazed because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Nor should I remember it off the top of my head.
Let's look it up.
Real-time follow-up. All right. RJ, who are you bringing to a dinner table? Alive,
album
dead, who knows?
Is 42 minutes and 19 seconds.
All right, so 10 minutes over. I thought that would be in the ballpark of 4. I was wrong. I've been wrong all night. I am just going to go dissociate now.
It's okay. So I went with 3 people who lived very interesting lives. 3 women specifically. The first one is one you may have heard of, may have not heard of. Alice Roosevelt Longworth. She was the daughter of Teddy Roosevelt. Famously, Teddy Roosevelt said, I could be president or I can keep tabs on Alice. I cannot do both. Paraphrasing there. She just was an interesting woman. She was sort of the highlight during his presidency of like social engagement. Very interesting woman. Did a lot of sort of things that you just didn't do in those days. The second would be Betty White, because like talk about somebody who was there from the beginning of television up through the 2000s and 10s. Just incredible, like knew everybody, had a story about everybody. I'm also a huge Golden Girls fan, so you know, knowing her information on that show would be very cool. And then the third one is one that has been in my mind a lot lately because of the SNL anniversary we just had. Gilda Radner, taken far too young. One of the most brilliant female comedians, one of the most brilliant comedians just ever. The not ready for primetime players, just incredibly funny. I read her autobiography when I was a teenager, and some of those passages have just stuck with me for 20 years. She just is incredible. And I wish to have a meal with her. So yeah, so those are my picks. Matt, what's your picks?
Sorry. Yeah, so I bounced around a bunch on this. Because of tonight, I've added Lewis Carroll to the table just to ask, dude, what the hell? Um, so Lewis Carroll's going to be at the table. Also at the table would be Lyndon Johnson, just to learn how to properly wield power. I think that would be a good idea at this point because um and then if I was going to put in a third person, I would either I'm torn. If I want my brain to completely melt, it would be Albert Einstein. And if I want to sort of have an idea and joke, um, the other would be Ben Franklin. And no, I did not set this up so that uh, the dynamics of this podcast would play out in this answer the way that it did. That was absolutely not my intention, but that's a thing that happened, and I'm sorry. So yeah, but Franklin would be fun. Just whatever, everything that was happening in the American Revolution, everything that was happening leading up to the American Revolution, and is the kite story as what else happened with that kite story. Um, so that would be fun. Also, the whole like living in London and then finding a whole bunch of bodies and cadavers in the row house that he was renting for his time while in London that he was serving in. This was actually a house that was used for autopsies, medical autopsies, and so like grave diggers would go out and bring bodies to this house so that people could perform autopsies and learn how to do them. So no, Ben Franklin was not secretly a serial killer in London. There you go. So those are my three, and yeah, I just made it a little awkward there at the end.
Wait, Ben Franklin isn't a serial killer. Like, he's not Jack the Ripper. We did not just break that on this podcast.
No, no, there's a century between them. They lived in another part of London.
Abraham Lincoln hunted vampires. There's a movie.
That is
about it.
true. I read that on the internet, and as Abraham Lincoln is known to say, everything you read on the internet is true.
Yeah, just like that other speech he did, that one hasn't gotten to me yet.
Well, I try to do a joke, and all my jokes are just falling flat today. A lot of what I do in this podcast falls flat. I've noticed.
Did you miss that, Matt? That was a joke on your joke. RJ definitely caught it. Moving
No
on.
comment.
Anyway. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Stack Your Points. You can find me just dissociating in a corner somewhere, apparently. I'm just going to put myself in the corner. Tariq, I'll join you. Or Tariq, you can leave. You're good. We've retired you for the week.
Wow.
Report back next week. Yeah, I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel. You can check out my channel there. RJ, if folks wanted to find you on the vast expanses of the internet, where's the best place for that?
You can find me in the Stack Your Points Discord. You can also find me on the Thursday Night Lives. This Thursday is a normal live. Next Thursday, we have a special guest, and we're doing a media draft of a particular Trek-based design, which I'm looking forward to and will be very fun.
Star Trek draft, nerd alert. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, I feel sorry for you.
We will
Tariq,
talk credit cards at some point, I'm sure.
maybe. Tariq, if we wanted to find you on the vast expanse of the internet, best place to find you?
It's going to be Stack Your Points Discord and also Stack Your Points lives on Thursdays. This Thursday, probably not next Thursday, just because I don't have the advanced nerd knowledge that would make a good show with me there. I would just be kind of standing there blank, boring, and dumb. I'm not going to mention the third thing because of how I let myself get roasted. I got some recording to do. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And if you
I am
saw
so
Lonnie,
glad Lonnie missed that because he would be so on my ass, even though he
Nope.
already was.
he already was behind the paywall. Just put it there. Lonnie, speaking of that, where is the best place to find you on the internet?
You can find me right here. You can find me in the Stack Your Points Discord. You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Call Me Lani. That's spelled CALLMELANI. Lani is spelled LANI. And thank y'all for being entertained by what we brought tonight. If you want to know what book or novel we're going to reference next week, just follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Yo. Just one? Or are we going to go?
I was
He
hoping
wrote
to
a
get
lot of
on down
those.
the road, actually.
I wasn't Quincy Jones. I wasn't expecting RJ to give 2 thumbs up. I may have just committed to this.
If you only had a brain, sir.
Damn it!
Wow, we're already getting started. We're starting at 2 next week.
I was going to go with that too. RJ, you beat me to it.
Fun fact, my hometown, the inspiration for the Yellow Brick Road.
You know, Tariq, you can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game.
Honestly, at this point, I'm just ready to go back to the corner, man. There's no place like home.
All I know is I thought I was out and they just pulled me back in. All right. Well, as always, this is Stack Your Points Podcast. You can catch us on Wednesdays for the main show, Fridays on the Q&A segment. Sometimes it gets flipped. We like to variety's the spice of life around here at the Stack Your Points Podcast. We can definitely find us in full-length format on Saturdays on the podcatcher of your choice. Drop a 5-star review or a heart or whatever it is that the podcatchers want. Drop a like and subscribe here on YouTube. We look forward. Oh, and you can check us out on the Stack Your Points Lives Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see what else we end up doing with those, but we've got some stuff planned. It should be fun. But we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now. We'll see you next week.